Hey, what's up everyone? Johnny the Geek here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an exact copy of your Mac OS X operating system. And so the program I'll be using is a free program here called Carbon Copy Cloner. So there's a couple of things you're going to need to uh, acquire. And so the first thing is going to be a portable hard drive, and it's going to need to be an external hard drive. It could be a portable one like this, or it could also be a desktop, the kind that you plug in to the power, and that's a little bit bigger. The full size external hard drive could be anything, any one of those hard drives. But the important thing is that it needs to be at least the same size of your internal hard drive that you're backing up. This is because what we're going to be doing is making a clone. It's going to actually also be bootable, so it's not going to back up your system, your entire system, and then close it and contain it within one single file like a DMG or an ISO file. Instead, it's just going to copy it bit by bit and slap it onto this external hard drive, so that everything that you know and experience on your actual Mac, your desktop, will actually be contained within this external drive here. So if you get one of those, that would be great, and I'll explain what the purpose is in terms of why you want to do this. Alright, so like I said, you're going to need a external hard drive, and this is a 320 gig external hard drive. My internal hard drive on my laptop is only 250 gig. So this is more than enough for what you need. Secondly, what you'll need is the software. And this is a Carbon Copy Cloner. So when you click on download, it will start to download, and once you have that, you can go ahead and open it up and install it. Just click and drag the icon into your applications folder, so you can close that. Then we'll go ahead and start up Carbon Copy Cloner. Right. Now, before we actually do anything, we're actually going to need to format this external hard drive. Now, this is very important. What you're about to do is going to wipe out whatever hard drive you're backing your stuff onto. We're going to completely wipe out the external hard drive. I'm not going to get into making sort of time machine like backups or incremental backups. That's going to be that would be another whole nother video, and it's kind of a complicated process because there's a lot of different things, a lot of different variables you got to choose. But anyways, we're going to be wiping this completely out. Now, this hard drive, I have data on here. It's my PC Windows external hard drive, and I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this out just for the purpose of this video. So I do have data on here, but it's already backed up on another machine. So if you have an external hard drive and there's data on there and you want to save it, plug it into another computer and back it up, because everything on your external hard drive is going to be wiped out. Can't stress that enough. I just don't want to get emails or comments from people saying that they lost all of their information because I didn't tell them to back it up. So back up all your stuff. This drive is going to be wiped out, and we're about to do that right now using disk utilities. So we'll start up disk utility, and here is the drive that's plugged in. That's my 320 gig external. You can tell by the orange icon here. It indicates that it's an external drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to partition it, but sometimes you get an error trying to partition your drive, and that's because it has trouble unmounting your drive, right? So the best thing that you want to do is, if it's mounted here, meaning it's plugged in and it shows up on the desktop, means it's mounted, you're going to want to unmount it first, right? It won't unmount from disk utilities. Disk utilities is a program, it's a very powerful program that knows what is plugged in to the computer right now. So whatever is plugged in, regardless of it being mounted onto your desktop or not, or if you can access it, it says, hey, this drive right here registers and it's plugged into the machine. So once we have that, we're going to click on it, highlight it, and you're going to click on Partition, and then we're going to go to the volume scheme. We're going to just choose one partition, and we'll name it. We'll just call it Backup if you want, or you can call it Backup Mac, whatever. Alright, so like I said before, it was formatted for a PC hard drive, so we have to change the partition table. And down right here where it says options, the default currently was master boot record. We want to change that. That's for when you're on a Windows machine and this drive will be picked up by a Windows operating system based on its master boot record, right? So we're going to change it to GUID partition table. Now, what's this Apple partition map? Typically it's for the PowerPC, the older Macs, really old Macs, non-Intel Macs. Those non-Intel Macs running Leopard and below don't recognize hard drives that are GUID partition or Apple master boot record. They only recognize Apple partition map. Not something you need to know for this video, I'm just saying what that is. Right, so we're going to leave it at GUID partition table. I'm going to click on OK. Everything looks good. Before I hit apply, one last warning. This is going to wipe out your hard drive. I'm assuming that you don't need any of this information that's on your external hard drive and you're wiping it out anyways. So once I do that, click on apply. Final answer it's asking you. Just click on partition, and it should only take about 2 or 3 minutes. Here's where it might give you an error saying that it was unable to mount. That's why before you do all of this, you're going to want to unmount your hard drive. Alright, so now it's asking, it recognizes that a new hard drive has been plugged in, and it's Time Machine here asking you if you want to use it as a backup hard drive. Just say no, don't use. Right? Okay, so now we're ready to do some cloning. So we can close out disk utility. We have carbon copy cloner open here, and the source is going to be my Mac internal hard drive on my Mac, right? And then the destination is going to be the backup. And here's the other options where you can make disk image where it contains it within one single file, but that, like I said, that's a whole nother video. So backup Mac here as our destination, and we have some options here, and the default is maintain a backup, archive modified and deleted files. I don't want to do any of that. I'm just going to do a straight up maintain a backup, no archiving, and be sure to read all of this here. I don't want to read any of this to you in this video and make this video any longer than it already is, right? And it's all detailed and requires a lot of explanation. Anyways, let's check out what they have for customize. Alright, this you just want to leave alone. I don't even know what any of this is, so there's a lot of advanced tinkering that you can do here. Run a deletion pass on the destination. Wow, so you can delete your drive before actually copying stuff to it. That's like ultimate deletion protection. Right, anyways, so that's the customized settings. So that's pretty much it. The basic setup for this carbon copy cloner. I'm just going to go ahead and hit clone. It's going to ask, or it's going to tell you the destination is about to be wiped out again. So we'll just click on continue. It's going to ask for a password. You authenticate your own password, and so now what it's doing is that it's copying everything bit by bit from the Macintosh HD to the backup Mac. It's also making it bootable, and I'll actually go in and I'll boot to the external drive. I'm gonna have to record using my camera, but I'll show that it will boot into the external drive, and I'll also show you how to do a restore or recover your main hard drive. So we'll be back once this is finished. I believe it's gonna take maybe a good couple of hours before it finishes. If your machine is on a screensaver or a sleep mode or timeout, you're going to want to change that temporarily just for this copying process, because it may take a few hours. So in the energy saver, move the slider all the way to never. Obviously you want to have power plugged in because you don't want the battery to run out while this is going, and this will eat up your battery pretty quickly. So um, make sure the power is plugged in. Slide temporarily the computer to sleep and display sleep to be never, just for temporary. And also the screensaver, slide this over to never as well, because you don't want this to be slowing things down when the screensaver comes on. So just slide that to never temporarily, right? And then that's it. We'll just leave it closed and we'll be back when this is finished. Alright, so Carbon Copy Cloner finished cloning the drive. I'm just going to press on OK now. So what we're about to do is actually boot into this drive, because now this is an exact copy of the physical hard drive that's in this laptop. So I'm going to switch over to the camera, and we're going to go into booting up and how to boot this up, because there's a couple of different ways. Actually, I'll show you both ways to boot this up. Now, I am using a USB external drive. Booting from USB external drive only works with Intel Macs, and I believe Leopard and beyond. So Leopard, Snow Leopard, Lion can boot to a USB external drive, or use a USB external drive as a boot hard drive. So if you have an older machine, a PowerPC Mac, then you're going to need a FireWire. You can also use FireWire for the Intel one. It works for both, but PowerPC Macs need the FireWire hard drives. Alright, so first way I'll show you to boot into this drive is actually choosing the startup disk. So we have the drive plugged in, and you go to System Preferences, then you go to Startup Disk here, and it's going to read the bootable hard drives that you have. So this is one way, and I guess I'll show you this way for the purpose of recording. The other way, the other option, is to have the drive plugged in, and when it starts up, because this method doesn't work all the time, when you plug in the external hard drive, hold down the Option key, and when you hold down the Option key, it's going to bring up the different bootable drives that it detects. So hold down the Option key and then choose the orange icon, your external drive, the Mac OS X on the backup Mac hard drive. Choose that option, and then you'll boot into the external hard drive. Alright, so I'm going to now restart and boot into the external hard drive and then continue recording, and you'll see that I will actually be in the external hard drive and not the main hard drive. Alright, so here we are booted into our cloned partition copy external here. Be very careful. The entire operating system that you see running with this recording is running off of this external drive. Don't be moving it around like this. You could drop it or knock it or do anything. Be very delicate. The operating system is running right now, and if you do something to the external and it gets messed up, you could potentially ruin the external hard drive. So be very careful. Alright, now what I'm going to be doing actually is that I'm going to, let's say for example, the scenario is that I messed up my internal hard drive, I did something wrong, or there's something going on, or the software is just all jacked up. I want to clone back my copy here that I've made, my backup Mac copy. Right, this is the operating system. I know it looks a little confusing because it's exactly like the main internal hard drive, but I assure you I am running off of the backup hard drive here. And so what I'm going to do now is copy everything back onto the main hard drive. And pretty much it's exactly the same as I did copying to the external here. Pretty much everything's the same. So I'm going to go ahead and run disk utility. And this is how you also know that you are actually on the external drive, because we're able to format and repartition the main drive. See, if we were really booted on the main drive, you would not be able to do this. So, same procedures, click on the hard drive there, select partition, select one partition, and I'm assuming that your main hard drive here is for some reason messed up, or you just want to re-image your machine, or you have another machine which you own all the software and license for. You have another machine that you want to re-image, in which case this particular method does also work for that, and it's great and such a time saver to copy everything over, and then you don't have to install all of your software one by one after the other. It's just super convenient to just re-image. Let's say you got a new Mac and you want to transfer everything from your old Mac, assuming the software is somewhat up to date and fairly up to date. You want to transfer everything from your old Mac onto your new Mac without having to reinstall everything, just a straight up copy one to another. This is a great method for that. Anyways, moving on, I'm going to rename this. I'll just call it main, rename it that, call it something different. And you shouldn't have to do anything this. By default, it should already be a GUID partition table, because that's what it was before, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to hit apply, speak now, forever hold your peace. Make sure that you've copied everything that you needed to copy off of your main hard drive that you're re-imaging, because there might be, since the last time you made the backup, there might be new files. Most likely there will be new files being made. Don't make a copy, obviously, of a bad hard drive with corrupt, bad files on there. But you do want to at least copy, photos and documents and stuff like that off of that main hard drive first onto your external. Right, so that's pretty much it. We just formatted it. Now we're going to again run carbon copy cloner. Then we're going to select our source now as the backup Mac, because remember, our destination is wiped out. There's nothing on there. So our destination is going to be our main. Same settings as always. And then you're going to hit clone, and it's going to hit continue. It's going to authenticate. Then when you do this, same process again, only this time you're going to shut down, unplug your external drive, reboot, and then you're back into a fresh re-image of your Mac OS X onto your laptop or iMac or desktop. So let's start with that, and I'll see you when it's finished. Alright, so the clone is complete. Now I'm going to shut down the system, unplug the portable hard drive here, the external, and then restart or turn back on the machine, and I'll be booting back into the hard drive now. And so once that's complete, that's pretty much it. That is the cloning of the hard drive, and also restoring of the hard drive. One last thing you got to do after you just cloned a hard drive and you've booted back into it is that you got to do a little bit of cleaning. And so what I mean by that is that you got to do a repair disk permissions over in utilities. So this is disk utilities again, and you click on the main hard drive here, the hard drive you just newly cloned, and then you click on repair disk permissions, and this is going to take between a minute and, I don't know, 10 minutes to basically just make sure things are in order, things are in the right place, and settings are correct, and everything just matches up. So once you have that done, then that's pretty much it. you're good to go. And that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that was informative for everyone. Please comment, rate, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.